Alright, picture this. You're scrolling through endless grill listings on a lazy Saturday, and a friend messages you, should I go for this big box propane beast or stick with my old charcoal thing? You can hear the hesitation in their voice because they're not just thinking about the grill's price tag, they're wondering if they'll actually use all that firepower, if the extra burners will ever see the light of day, and whether the whole thing will fit on their modest patio without turning it into a backyard barbecue arena. That's the exact situation I found myself in last month when I started digging into the Napoleon PRO825RSBIPPSS Prestige Pro. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest question surrounding a grill of this caliber is, do I need this many burners? The Prestige Pro comes with 6 stainless steel main burners cranked up to a combined 123,000 BTUs and an extra infrared rear rotisserie burner. On paper, that sounds like a kitchen for a professional chef, but in a typical family setting the real value shows up in how you actually use that firepower. If you love hosting weekend block parties, or you enjoy juggling multiple dishes, say, a slab of ribs on the rotisserie while you sear steaks on the main burners and keep a side of veggies humming on the infrared sizzle zone, then the layout starts to make sense. I tried that exact scenario. I pre-marinated chicken thighs, set a pork shoulder on the rotisserie, and tossed a few corn cobs on the side burner. The rotisserie rotated smoothly, the main burners reached a solid sear without any flare-ups, and the infrared side burner gave the corn that sweet, caramelized edge in just a few minutes. The whole spread cooked evenly, and I actually used 3 of the 6 burners at once without feeling cramped. But if your grilling routine is more one steak, one side salad most evenings, the extra burners become more of a luxury than a necessity. The real hidden trade-off is the footprint. This grill measures a hefty footprint, and while the Lifty's roll-top lid feels solid, it adds a few inches of height that can be a problem if you have a low-ceiling patio or limited storage space. The bottom line, you need a fairly open outdoor area to let this beast breathe. I measured my deck before I unboxed it, and the grill sat comfortably with a foot of clearance on all sides, just enough to swing the heavy lid without smacking into a wall. Next, let's talk about the LED Spectrum nightlight control knobs and interior lights. At first glance, those could be seen as a gimmick, but after a few evenings of grilling under a dim sky, they turned out to be genuinely useful. The knobs glow softly, so you can see exactly where you're turning the heat up, which helps avoid overshooting the temperature on those delicate fish fillets. The interior lights illuminate the cooking surface, making it easier to keep an eye on that rotisserie chicken without constantly lifting the lid and losing heat. In a real-world test, I was able to monitor a slow-cook brisket at 225 for a solid 6 hours without any surprise cold spots, something that's often a pain point for new rotisserie owners. Of course, every piece of equipment has its practical downside. The biggest annoyance I ran into was the propane tank connection. The hose is robust, but the fitting can be a little stiff, especially if you're trying to connect a standard 20-pound tank after a season of use. It takes a firm grip and a bit of wobble before it clicks into place. Once it's on, it stays put, but the initial hookup can be a minor hassle if you're not used to handling larger propane connections. Another subtle point is the cleaning routine. With 6 burners, you have more grates to scrub, and the infrared burners can leave a fine layer of carbon that requires a dedicated brush. If you're looking for a low-maintenance grill, you might find the upkeep a step up from a simpler 2-burner model. Who should consider buying the Prestige Pro? If you're a regular host, think weekend barbecues, family reunions, or grilling for a sports team, this grill gives you the flexibility to multitask without crowding the cooking surface. The rotisserie burner is a standout for anyone who loves slow-roasted meats, and the infrared side burner is perfect for veggies or even a quick sear on a baguette. It also suits those who appreciate the nighttime grilling vibe. The LED knobs and lights aren't just aesthetics, they actually improve usability after dark. Who should skip it? If your patio is the size of a studio apartment balcony, or if you only fire up the grill a few times a month for simple meals, you'll likely end up paying for features you never use. The large footprint, the extra maintenance, and the initial learning curve for managing multiple burners could become more of a burden than a benefit. In those cases, a smaller 2 or 3 burner model would still give you solid performance without the extra footprint and complexity. Let's talk value beyond the headline specs. The real money saver here.